4, 3, 2, 1. I call to order the Utility Special District Board of Directors meeting for Wednesday, July 15th. The time is 5:30. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Chairperson Julia Botel,
Here.
Chair Pro Tem Douglas Lawson, Board Member Trodrick McCoy,
Here.
Board Member Shamba Miller Anderson,
Present.
Board Member Shirley Lanier, ex officio Board Member Mary Felder, City Manager Jonathan Evans,
Present.
Interim Utility District Director Deirdre Jacobs,
Here.
District Clerk Claudine Anthony is present, District Attorney Don Wynn,
Here.
District Finance Director Randy Sherman.
Here.
You may proceed.
Thank you. We'll have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Director McCoy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I think before we begin, I'd like to do a little bit of housekeeping, and this will continue to our next meeting as well. We've gotten a little bit of constructive criticism from members of the community about our meetings, and so I took a look at Robert's Rules of Order, and according to Robert's Rules, Article 7, Section 42, it says no member shall speak more than twice during the same day to the same question, only once on an appeal, nor longer than 10 minutes at one time without leave of the assembly. And the question upon granting the leave shall be decided by a 2/3 vote without debate. No member can speak a second time to a question as long as any member desires to speak who has not spoken to the question. So if we could adhere to that, Robert's rules, it would be really helpful. And I think, would let the record show that Director Lawson is present and Director Lanier is present. Thank you. If we could also please mute our microphones, unless you're recognized by the chair, mute your microphone so we don't have the crosstalk that we've been experiencing. That would be really helpful as well. So we'll limit ourselves to twice on any topic. And I don't think anyone's ever gone on 10 minutes at a time. So although we'll ask the clerk to monitor that for us, but I doubt that we'll have that problem. So that would be great. And now if we could, have additions, deletions, or substitutions by the manager or any board member?
None from administration, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I will also, just before we continue, read the bit about public comment. Any member of the public wishing to comment publicly on any matter, including items on the agenda, shall submit their comments by email to City Clerk Claudine Anthony at publiccomments@riverabeach.org. Explicit language will not be read. Be advised, public comments will be accepted for the general public comment section until closure is announced by the chairperson or the city clerk. All email addresses and submitted comments are and will be public record. The city clerk or designee will read public comments into the record at the appropriate time for no more than 3 minutes, unless the time limit is reduced by a vote of the city council. Should be board based on the voluminous nature of the number of public comments received. If you have any questions, please contact City Clerk's office at 561-845-4090 or email crobinson@riverabeach.org. Do we have, would anyone care to make a motion to adopt the agenda? Oh, did I ask for disclosures? Are there any disclosures by the manager, mayor, or any board member? No. Thank you. So we could ask if anyone would like to make a motion to adopt the agenda. So moved. Thank you. Thank you. Motion is, the agenda is moved and seconded. We don't have any items on consent. Am I right, Madam Clerk?
Madam Chair, we need to do the roll call vote for the adoption of the agenda before proceeding.
Okay, so go ahead.
Board Member McCoy?
Yes.
Board Member Miller Anderson?
Yes.
Board Member Lanier?
Yes.
Pro Tem Lawson,
Yes.
Chair Hotel,
Yes,
unanimous vote. Madam Chair, we do not have anything on the consent agenda.
thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes, you're recognized.
was that item taken off of the consent, number one?
Oh, number one.
Oh, no, I do see a resolution. I'm sorry. It was,
Thank you, Ms. Miller Anderson.
thank you. Go ahead, Madam Clerk. So we can, all matters listed under this item shall be considered to be routine and action will be taken by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Would someone care to make a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Move consent, Madam Chair.
Second.
Thank you. And now you said we had no public comments, Madam Clerk?
Madam Chair, there are no public comments for the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? You can call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Board Member McCoy,
Yes.
Board Member Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Board Member Lanier,
Yes.
Pro Tem Lawson,
Yes.
Chair Hotel,
Yes.
unanimous vote.
Thank you. Any person who would like to speak on an agenda item, please fill out a public comment card. It's not located on the table, but we all know that. Public comment will be given 3 minutes to speak on each regular agenda item. In no event will anyone be allowed to submit a comment card and speak on an agenda item after the resolution is read and the item considered. Public comment shall begin at 7:30 unless there is no further business of the Board of Directors, which in that event it shall begin sooner. In addition, if an item is being considered at 7:30, then comments from the public shall begin immediately after the item has been concluded. Any person who would like to speak during public comments, please fill out a public comment card. I said that. Regular agenda. This is really duplicated on here, so go ahead, Madam Clerk. You can. I think I've read everything.
Okay, Madam Chair, let me look at my agenda has nothing listed under the regular agenda.
Mine doesn't either. So that was quick. Am I right, Mr. Evans, Miss Jacobs? There's nothing on the regular agenda. Very nice. Okay. So are there any, so there were no public comment cards at all for the entire agenda. Am I right?
For the utility special district meeting.
Right. Okay. Do we have a discussion by the executive director or the utility special district or the city manager?
Madam Chair, if I may, I do want to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Jacobs for serving in the interim role. This will be her last official meeting as the interim director of the utility district. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Jimmy Johnson, is joining the team early next week and has been working with staff as it relates to the transition and the budget process. So I did want to take the opportunity to thank Ms. Jacobs and the team for doing an exceptional job in the interim role, and looking forward to working with Mr. Johnson and him coming on board. So I do want to take the time to thank Ms. Jacobs and the team for a job well done. And I know that she's become fond of the utility operation, so that will be one of the operations that continue to report to Ms. Jacobs as she's become accustomed to the water and wastewater side. So again, thank you, Ms. Jacobs, for your service and a job well done.
Thank you, Ms. Jacobs. I must admit, it appeared to me that item that was on consent was the agenda. So it looks like we have had a very nice quick meeting, and we don't have to worry about taking a break before the 6 o'clock council meeting because we have plenty of time. Are there any statements by district board to fill the time? No. Okay.
No, I just I wanted to also thank Ms. Jacobs for her untiring work working with the utility district, and not only utility district, but all of the other departments that she heads up. I really appreciate the information that she's provided to us over the course of months. It was plain, it was simple. I was able to understand it. I didn't look at the agenda and say, what is this? I was able to understand what it was that she was putting forth. She explained it very well, and I can appreciate directors who make things plain. So I appreciate that, Ms. Jacobs. Best to you, and we will miss you at these 5:30 meetings, ma'am.
Thank you. So, Madam Chair, other council persons in your respective places, and Mr. Evans. Mr. Evans actually beat me to the punch. I didn't know he was going to bring that to your attention because I thought I was gonna do it. I'm so pleased that Mr. Johnson has arrived to assist us here at our agency. I'm hopeful that he'll be a valued asset. His interview was quite impressive, and he has been with us a couple of days now, and he came once before to begin to learn about our processes and procedures, and I'm hopeful that he'll be good for the organization. I'm sure he will be, and I'm here to assist him, as well as the other members of our team under the leadership of Mr. Evans. And Mr. Evans, thank you so much for your comments as well, Mrs. Lanier and other board members.
Thank you. Anyone else? Would someone care to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Anybody opposed? We're adjourned. Let's be promptly back here at 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Do we have an agenda item
At 6?
for the board? I thought we had one item.
We dealt with it. It was on consent. It was very confusing. It was a very confusing agenda this evening. Everything was on consent. Who was speaking? I
Great.
couldn't.
Thank you. Sorry, this is John Armstrong.
Oh, hi, John. Yeah, that was it. We dealt with it.
Thank
We're
you.
adjourned.
Mr. Armstrong, those are always the best presentations.
Yeah.
That was my best one ever.
That was really great, really succinct, very succinct. We like that. You must have heard me say earlier that we were going to be limiting comments, so. All right, we'll be back at 6. Do we need to log in again, or are we using the same link? No, Miss Noel.
Same link. Just
Same
the
link,
same.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just turn our cameras and microphones off. Thank you.